everybody, hey, welcome back to the shop. Tonight's episode is what the heck am I going to do with this freaking wing? The wing that you've been watching me tear down and try not to get too upset, but I've gotten upset and walked away a couple times. I've got everything pretty much buttoned into place on what I'm going to do with it. I've changed my mind so many different times on how I want to handle the situation with this wing. This wing, everything that I've done to it so far, the parts I've made for it, the jigs I've made for it, the templates I've made for it, is all going to make the second wing a lot easier to do because there's very little damage on the second wing. The biggest problem on the second wing is it needs a new root rib, which, because as you saw in the other video, I've already made that, and that's doubled up 1/8 inch ply, epoxied with epoxy. Sorry about that. It was epoxy with a glue type substrate. So anyway, so that's already made. So that all we have to do is just pretty much crack the leading edge free, because there's very little work that's going to have to be done even to the skin on this, because the skin all the way up to where the break was at the wingtip, the skin is complete, and I'm not going to have to even replace that. I could just dress it up, fill in a couple little dents, and that part will be done. So all the nose ribs, with the exception of, let's flip it upside down, all the nose ribs with the exception of this one right here, and this one might not even have to be replaced. What I can do with this nose rib is I can take it off and see how well it's matching the one that I've got on the wing that I'm fixing. So before this wing that's completely torn apart, before I sheet the leading edge, I'm going to have this apart, because as you can see, this was very hodgepodge, just chopped off. This is supposed to be spruce material. Let me get it. There we go. This is supposed to be spruce material as well, going all the way out to where that broken piece of, you know, that nice straight piece of wood. See, nice and straight. Yeah. That's where this is attached to. So this will all be new. So I'm not concerned about that. And in the wingtip rib, I'm gonna make a jig off of the one that's done right now, that's actually on the wing that's sitting on a table. So if nothing else, the wings will be identical. And if for some reason the wingtip on this wing has a little bit of wash in or wash out on it, this wing's gonna have to have the same. So I'm gonna have to make a lot of measurements just to check out the angle. I'm hoping it's going to be straight, because I'm going to measure this one down here on the table. You'll see. Just hang on. I'm gonna do the one down on the table. I'll actually make measurements on this one that I can put on the new wingtip rib that's going to go in here, and then everything will be adjusted to this rib. So when this rib gets attached, the hoop that's on the wingtip will automatically be in the same angle, the same incidence. Is that right, Gino? Incidence of washout on the tip. So in real life, I don't think I had any washout at all, so I'm hoping it doesn't have any. But if it's got a little wash in, you know, it's okay. If it's got a little washout, that would be a little bit better, because it would handle slower speeds for coming in and landing. But it's such a small little part that you're not really gaining any lift off the tip anyway. It's just how you're transferring the energy off the wing. So so I think we should be pretty squared up on that as to what's going to need to be done. So Let me show you on the changes, because I know you don't really want to see me do the work on this, because I don't want to see me do the work either. Let me show you what I'm going to do, because this is pretty much just going to be a little video of me chatting to you folks, and sorry about that, you got a little too close to me. If anybody had an issue with that closeness, because you know some people are sensitive. What I'm going to do, I decided that I'm gonna use the same type of setup that they used. I'm not gonna have rounded pieces of brass that can wobble like that. I do have, because this is gonna be something I'm gonna be making attachment points for the landing gear. It's 6061 aluminum. It's T6, and it's got a 3/8 inch gap, 0.375 gap through here. So I will be making, so I'm contorting my arms strangely. I will be making attachments out of balsa, out of marine grade plywood, 1/8 inch. I'll glue 3 of them together, so it'll be 3/8 wide and a 1/4 inch high. So, and those will get glued back into the trailing edge of the wing, not the trailing edge of the wing, the actual trailing edge of the aileron wingy part. So that's going to go back in the same position that these were at. Come through this little slot, attached to the bottom of the spar on this side. See if you can see it. Attached to the bottom of a spar down here. So they will be rock solidly held in place, and there won't be any wobble. I just haven't decided how I want to get that in here, because they had just a piece of brass tubing, just pushed through it and squeezed flat, so it couldn't slide out. I could possibly do that, but the way they had it set up is that this was already attached to the aileron, and that's why they've got these big cutouts here, as you can look and see through it. Say, come on, you can do it. There it is. So while the aileron is covered, you can just go ahead and through this gap in the leading edge, you can put one screw in and screw the aileron onto the wing. It is a kind of a nifty idea. I just don't know if I want to. I'm gonna have to work with that. But if I'm gonna work with it the same way they worked with it, sorry if I sound snotty because I'm just getting over a cold. What I will do inside here, I will block the sides so that when this piece gets screwed in here, there is no little or no side-to-side movement at all, so that one screw going through into the plywood will hold it firm. Will hold it firm. Because the last thing you want is an aileron that's loose. Any control surface that's loose will start a flutter. And if you get a flutter in the wing, it's not a happy sound, and it's not a happy sight. If you get a flutter in a tail and an elevator, if you can't slow it down and get that flutter to stop, you can pretty much kiss that plane goodbye, because when that aileron starts fluttering up and down, you're all it's doing is disturbing the air. Even when it's up and it's still, you're trying to get it to rise up, you're disturbing so much air over that you'd almost need twice the up elevator to compensate for the way it keeps fluttering up and down. So I would prefer not to have any kind of flutter at all. I want things straight and tight. So the wing, I will go ahead and let me kind of set you back up in the camera mount again. Because you all need you all love this target. This is like a spitball target. You can sit down, and if you're getting bored with the video, just make a little spitball gun, sit about 15 feet back from your screen, and just start spitting spitballs at me. So anyway, let's get back to this. This is more important than me. Everything on the wing is straight. I got rid of the down curve, and here's a picture of what I had to do to get the curve out of it. So that part's taken care of. Now the leading edge of the wing, you're not going to really be able to see it from there. What we're looking at is a 32nd of an inch of movement, and I don't know if you're going to be able to even see that movement. I'd like to, let me do it on the other side to see if you can see it. Okay. I don't think you can see it. It's a 32nd of an inch of being perfectly straight across. That's good enough for government work. That's plenty good enough for the Taylorcraft, so I'm not going to fight that anymore. So the leading edge of the wing is almost ready to sheet. This wing tip right here. Woo! You almost lost balance there. This is sitting proud. It's sitting. This camera's done driving me crazy. Let me see if I can hold it in a way that you can see it. You might be able to see it. This is standing probably not quite an 1/8 inch high. Pretty close to it. Pretty close to an 1/8 high from where it's supposed to be. But I do need to come in the bottom and shave this down, because it's got the actual the original sheeting still on the bottom of this. So when I come in and shave this down, this will recess down inside a little bit. But I think I need to make a new nose rib for this, because I already cut it down to flex it in, and I don't know if it's enough yet. I'm gonna find out. If I can get it close, we're gonna call that done too, because I'll still be able to come in, and when I put a fill on the top, I can sand it down and just make this so that it's gonna look pretty good as it transitions into here, and that'll be, you know, I'm at the point where it's beating me up, and I plan on winning. So the wing's closer. I'm about 2 weeks into this wing, 2 weekends, and I'm gonna try to get as much stuff done as possible. You can kind of see it over here. I'm going to use my balsa sheeting. I'm going to sheet the inside of the wingtip. I'm going to do the spot. I'm going to do the same thing with the sheeting in the spot here where the aileron servo is going to go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with a sheet of balsa down here at the root rib. So there should be no side-to-side rock. It's extremely lightweight, so I should not have an issue with that at all. And it'll make me happy. Happier. So I still have some work to do on this. It's really not as bad now. Most of the hard work's been taken care of, and there were times I wish I actually had hair on top of my head to pull out. But you know, this is part of life. So anyway, I'll work on that. I'll work on this during the week here, and bring it back in, because I'll bring it back in on Saturday before as I get the ball rolling, and I'll throw into we'll put together a nice speedy video with some music, just so you can see me run around like an idiot for a little bit and hopefully smile. So that's about it. So I'll let you guys get back to your busy work. I got Comcast here right now rehooking up my cable because a little sudden gust of gravity on a windless night decided to take basically a 10-pound tree branch from about 10 feet over the top of the cable, and it just showed that the cable anchor on the side of the house was not properly done, because it was just a screw into some red cedar. And for those of you that have worked with red cedar, it's very soft wood, and if you don't go through that into either the substrate behind it or into a joist. Oh my gosh, a stud. Or if you got a really long stud, you know, who knows. Anyway, it shouldn't have ripped off. It should have held the little branch up. But it's so the guy's here, you know, 7 o'clock at night, taking care of that. So that's about it. So the night I'm doing this is the night I'm going to be that I'm not going to be, that I already have uploaded and posted video 1 of the Wing trilogy. So I hope y'all did a little Googling on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because this video is part of the trilogy. So anyway, hey, I'll talk to you guys later, and you know, wings up, wheels down. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.